Do bad things happen to good people? I mean, this is not a very tricky question. This is not a very difficult question. But we know bad things do happen to good people. I want you to read with me this story in the Bible about Lazarus. John chapter 11. Now I want you to notice certain important points over here. Now a certain man was sick, Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was Mary who anointed the Lord with fragrant oil and wiped her feet with her hair, and whose brother Lazarus was sick. Now Bible tells that this was no ordinary family. This was a worshipping family. This was a family that was very close to Jesus. Therefore, the sisters sent to him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom you love is sick. Now, this makes another thing very clear, that is, Lazarus was close personally to Jesus. Jesus loved him, Jesus cared for him, and therefore the moment they came to know, they realized that Lazarus is sick, they sent a word to Jesus saying, he whom you love is sick. And what do we expect? We expect that Jesus would just spring up from his seat and say, hey, Lazarus is sick, come on, let's go and heal him. But he didn't do any of those things. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. Listen again. Jesus loved them. Not only they loved Jesus, Jesus loved them. So when he heard that he was sick, he stayed 2 more days in the place where he was. Now what does it tell us? Though it was an emergency situation, Jesus stayed back. And then after this he said to the disciples, let us go to Judah again. Then the disciples said, Rabbi, lately the Jews sought to stone you. Are you going there again? And then, so many things. And then verse 11 he says, these things he said, and after that he said, our friend Lazarus sleeps, but I go that I may wake him up. Then the disciples said, Lord, if he sleeps, he will get well. However, Jesus spoke of his death, but they thought he was speaking about taking rest in sleep. Then Jesus said to them, Lazarus is dead. I am glad for your sake that I was not there, that you may believe. Nevertheless, let us go to him. Now, Lazarus was dead. Jesus got the news that Lazarus is sick. Jesus did not move. He stayed, allowed Lazarus to die. This is strange. But this is exactly what the Bible says. Not only die, he allowed Lazarus to go to the grave. His body 4 days over there rot in that grave. But Jesus did not reach there until then. Now we wonder why. You see, isn't God compassionate? Isn't God merciful? Doesn't God want to heal us? I agree, he does. Verse 4 of John 11 makes it clear why Jesus did all these things. When Jesus heard, that is about the sickness of Lazarus, when Jesus heard that, he said, this sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God may be glorified through it. Now, do you understand? What God wanted to do is that through this incident, his name may be glorified. Sickness is not from God. Jesus did not make Lazarus sick. It was devil. Though devil moved his first move to make Lazarus sick, it was Jesus who made the final move of raising Lazarus from the dead. Sometimes what happens in between disturbs us. Sometimes what happens in between discourages us. And we wonder, where is God? We wonder, what is going to happen now? But God is watching. There are times when God takes us out of trouble. It is called as miracle. And a man of God said it beautifully. But when God takes us through the trouble, it is glory to his name. Jesus knew what is going to happen in the end. Remember, Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 says that the plan that God has for you and me is to give us a favorable end. In between may not look favorable, but the end is going to be favorable. My brothers and my sisters, good people of the Lord, sometimes seemingly bad things may happen to you, but do not lose heart. God will get glory out of those things. God has not done it, but God will have the final word and get the glory out of it. You know, there is one word he speaks over here. When he comes to meet Mary and Martha, this is what he says, that verse 24 onwards, Martha said to him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he may die, he shall live. And he said, whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this? You know what God is telling you? If you believe, you will see the glory of God. If you believe, even impossible situation will become possible. If you believe, he says, though he may die, yet he shall live. If you believe, though you have no money in your pocket, yet you shall prosper. If you believe, though you have pain in your body, yet you are healed by the stripes of Jesus. If you believe, though the situation looks impossible, yet with God all things are possible. Though you are surrounded by your enemies, yet he will lay a table before you in the midst of your enemies. Don't be discouraged by the bad situation. Believe our God is a God of yet. Though he may die, yet he shall live. God bless you, and may you see the victory of God in your life.